let's talk today just a little bit. It kind of gives people a little bit of insight, and I'm going to go last because I think I have the most crushing of poor investments. But Glenn, stop laughing at me, okay? But well, go ahead. I'll tell you what, Glenn. Why don't you start first? Tell us about your worst investment. What'd you learn from it? Worst person.
Well, I'll give you two with two different asset classes. One was when I started out as in my early days as a uh, fund manager, trader, and I thought I was the cleverest guy on the block, as many young guns do, and they think they've got the answer to to this to this world when it comes to day trading, and more specifically, I got into derivatives trading, CFDs, and uh, I had had 1 or 2 months where I was doing incredibly well, and I even had a different walk when I left the office. I really thought that I was the next the next big thing, and derivatives trading is brutal. It's incredibly humbling and a great leveler. so, so my worst investment when I started my company 20 odd years ago was I put a couple of million into my CFD position, and did incredibly well initially. 3 months later, I found myself vomiting in the toilets. It was gone. so So they say, if you want to be a good motorcycle rider, you got to fall 7 times. Well, to be a good trader, you got to have these. You learn best when you lose horribly, and that was probably the beginning, and it was my first exposure to a real loss. And my second worst investment was when I decided to buy a golf course.
Well,
Which is on the property side in terms as an asset class, and it's what I realized very quickly. The only value of a golf course is it's a trophy asset because it bleeds money. And had it for 4 or 5 years, didn't quite work out as expected, and had to sell it. So there's 2 stories for you guys.
okay. By the way, did you ever play golf?
That's the other irony. Larry, I can't stand the game. And one of my challenges is that I swing both ways. So I'm left-handed and right-handed. So for distance, and saying swing both ways doesn't sound very good. But
No.
for distance on my long game, I drive left-handed, and in my short game, I prefer to play right-handed. I'm more accurate.
Okay. Well,
So both hands.
yeah.
In cricket's a game you'll never understand, but I bat left-handed. Like in baseball, I would be batting left-handed, but I do everything else with my right hand, and I mean everything else.
Okay. So the good part is, just for those watching, Glenn is happily married, and so I don't want anybody to worry about his left hand, right hand, or him batting either way. We're just referring to sports and athletics. Okay, good. Big deal.
Happily married, but very confused.
It seems like it so far, wasn't it? But we
He
won't
seems
tell
both
you.
ways. He seems both ways.
Well, go ahead, Bilal. Hit us with your worst investment or investments and what you learned.
Actually, very similar to Glenn, but the opposite way around. My worst one was also a property investment, where I bought this property that I wanted to subdivide into 3 units and sort of rezone and sell the parts for a better price than the initial building. So it was a bit of a renovation and redo. And I think, yeah, it was one of my earlier investments when I just had moved to Mauritius, so maybe about 10 odd years or 12 years ago. And yeah, so I thought, listen, how hard can it be? And one of my uncles builds big, like 800, 1,000 houses at a time for the government. And so I got him on it, and I said, listen, can you, how long will this take? Can you do this for me? What will it cost? I mean, you know where this is going to go, but the long story short is, I mean, it took, it's supposed to take 6 months. It took like 18 months. It was supposed to cost X. It cost 3X. And I went there. I had to fly, and I had to fly up and down from Mauritius to come and check what was going on. So I didn't even factor all of that in. And the one day I was told everything was fine. So I flew down to go have a look, and there was like a hole in the wall, like an actual, like a cat could climb in like through a hole in the wall. And there was like a part of the roof had like fallen off. And I was like, guys, are you sure it's ready? But yeah, I was like, no, that's just snag, so we'll just sort that out. Just I was like, yeah, there's a hole in the house. Um, but yeah, so I then was allergic to physical property for many, many years. I then got into REIT trading, and I figured out that you could have the benefit of mortgage-backed property by shorting government bonds and buying REITs without having all the physical drama. Um, and then I
But
mean, it
B
works. It works.
is the
It works
golden
at the
rule of
right
property
time.
investing not is the golden rule of investing in property not location, location, location. So
Yeah,
that's
and you
true
need
as
to be
long as there's
close to
no
the
holes in the
location.
walls.
Yeah, yeah, you don't want a house with a hole in it. Yeah. Anyway, but listen. I mean, it worked out okay in the end. But it really was. I mean, it was a kind of a break-even deal, but really painful. Really, I'll never. I will never build again. I will literally. You can't make me ever build a house. I will only buy a property that has been lived in for a year or two or three. It must have seen a cyclone. It must have seen a hurricane. I know it's storm tested. I know someone knows that the plumbing works. Then I'm in. I'm not gonna buy off plan. I'm not gonna buy. Um, I'm not gonna buy anything that I'll try to build or decorate. I'll just literally will never do it. So that was the first one for me, and that's also where I realized I'm more of a I'm more of a screen guy. More of a analyze the numbers, read the reports type of investor than a visit the site and look at the bricks and look at the slope of the ground kind of investor. Um, so that was and then my second one was CFD, so the other way to Glen, and I got caught on the wrong side of the Chinese circuit breaker. I think it was, I can't remember, 25th of August 20, 2000 and I can't remember the exact date, but it was in August. I think my brain has blocked it out, but it was a large portion of my NAV, and the trade I had was correct. But what happened was there was a Chinese circuit breaker thing in the market, and when the market moved 5%, whatever, they closed trading, and my trade had moved against me, but um, yeah, I would have done better in that trade, but I can't remember exactly what happened. But I ended up getting closed out, and I realized that there were things in the market when dealing with even traditional markets. There are things that happen that you don't plan for and you don't understand.
Right.
And your CFD broker will credit your money very quickly when you're sending them money to trade new things. But when you have a margin call and you're sending money in, then all of a sudden they can't find the money for 3 or 4 days until they close you out. So I won't name names because I don't know where this podcast will go. But yeah, it's
Exactly.
trading can be very much not about just the markets and what you think you analyzed. It can also include how the behavior of your broker is, and effectively market manipulation. Where we say we're in a capitalist world, or but actually there's a lot of there's a lot of manipulation where things are, yeah. I mean, you can't just shut down trades mid trade and things like that, but it happens.
All right. Yep. Okay. So two of us have learned. Go ahead, Graeme.
Yeah, I'm going to make it 3 out of 3 in fingers burnt in the CFD market. So no points for originality, but yeah, also trading. Yeah, up until that point, had been trading shares, no leverage. You know, if you get hit by 10% or 20%, that's a lot. You know, but you throw some leverage in there. And I was long indices. I think in 2015, S&P 500, pretty vanilla market. I was short, and I think they must have announced some kind of easy monetary policy. The market went the other way and was completely cleared out. It was a relatively small amount. I mean, I didn't have a lot of money to play with back then, so whatever loss I took still stung. But yeah, I mean, came out with some really good lessons about risk management, and I think a
Yeah.
takeaway for me is, you can be a pretty bad trader, but if you've got decent risk management, you will stick around for a while, and you're not going to lose your shirt. Whereas, on the opposite side, you can be a really good trader, identify really good opportunities, but if your risk management is poor, you're just one loss away from taking an absolute hiding. So there's many strategies in the market to make money, to find good opportunities, but there's only one way to do risk management properly. And so that would be a takeaway that I took out of that, and I would recommend to anyone, because everyone's curious from time to time if you're passionate about investing and trading, and you jump into these things. But learn risk management would be the number one takeaway from that lesson.
Well, you've done a great job, especially with the funds that you manage in terms of the risk management piece. I mean, that's one of the reasons we have one of the top performing funds, is because your ability to have balance, conservative in nature, and I think the overall way that you are managing it, we missing some of the downside and capturing some of the upside. The combination of those two has really put us number one, and you've created a more stable type of investment, and then still outproducing those that are all in. So I think that's great. For me, I really had two investments. I started out small, and Glen mentions a motorcycle. So many years ago, and I'd never driven a motorcycle, but one of my friends would tool around on them, kind of like our friend Peter Jago, and they had this big turnpike event where everyone who had a motorcycle could all ride together. So I said to my buddy Stewart, Stewart, I'm going to get a motorcycle. He said, to do what? I said, I'm going to ride next to you in the event, where you have like 1,000 motorcycles. That's like going to Sturgis with the Hells Angels, And he's like, no, you can't ride next to me on your motorcycle. You've never driven a motorcycle. I'm like, come on, Stuart, don't be ridiculous. It's like riding a goddamn bike. He says, you're out of your mind. Anyway, I said, I'm going to buy one today. He comes with me, and I buy one up here. I buy it on a Sunday. I bought a Honda 750, yellow and black. Thing looked like a Hornet. Cool as can be. Anyway, they have to get out in 6 lanes of traffic. My buddy and the owner says, listen, I wouldn't take the bike if I were you. I wouldn't drive it anywhere, and I'd get lessons. I said, listen, I'm just going to go home. Right now, just going home. So they stop traffic on 6 lanes, and I'm able to jerk my way out there, and I drive all the way down this road, like 10 miles, take a left, and another left, I'm at home. And I bought those 2 Hells Angels hats, those ones that like do nothing. As I'm coming up, Suzanne is coming out, and I said, where are you going? She says, I'm going to the mall. Perfect, hop on the back. So Suzanne said, well, you've never driven one. I said, Suze, I got home, it's no problem. Hop on the back. So I give her the helmet, she hops on the back, and let's say I went to the first light, I took a right. I get to the next light, I only had to take a left. Wouldn't you figure the light goes yellow like my Honda, yellow. I said, you know what, I can make it. I give it a little gas, I lean to the left. Suzanne just had her breasts done, so she leans to the right. over we go. Not only that, I bought the thing on Sunday. I couldn't get it insured till Monday. It was totaled within 48 minutes of purchase. And Suzanne and I are, thank God we weren't hurt. She's screaming at me in the middle of a 6-lane highway about what an asshole I am and how bad a driver. And I said, you've been married to me for 20 years. You know I didn't have a license. You know I didn't know what I was doing, and you got on. Anyway, I'm done with that. So then I decided to graduate to bigger and better things. So I'm going to make this story short. So a buddy of mine comes and he says, Larry, listen, I've been investing $250 a month, and every month I get back double what I invested. And Glen knows this story because unfortunately he had a chance to meet the other people involved. Now I'm a financial guy, but my buddy comes to me and says, Larry, listen, if we can put together millions of dollars, instead of getting these 50% monthly returns, we're going to get 100. And what we're doing is you're putting down 1% and you're borrowing 99% more or 99 times more, and then you're doing these trading of bonds, right? I'm thinking, what the hell? Anyway, we go in and off we go. We raise millions of dollars, including my own. I had just sold another company, then I went public. And of course, for me, hey, it didn't sound too good to be true. It sounded too good to miss out. So I figured, why be conservative and just invest like 50% of the business I sold? I just went all in, 100%, all in. My buddy and I, we were calculating the rate of return we would have at the end of the year. Billions. Would you believe that he and I, us two idiots, were on the phone with Boeing because we couldn't decide whether we each wanted to buy our own 737 or were we going to share one? And of course, we brought our wives in to ask what they thought. Well, first they said, we think you two are insane. And we told them, listen, you guys are housewives and you really don't know what you're doing. And my buddy and I, we have this worked out. So girls, could you just think about when you're going to want to use the jet? And off we go. And it was probably 3 months later that, I don't want to go into the complete story, but the bottom line is we found out that we had pretty much been scammed. He lost $9 million, I lost $18 million, and we were part of a $500 million scam that actually was on one of the main TV shows. A little embarrassing. So needless to say, I wasn't saying, hey, if you want some good investment advice, come see me. Anyway, what did I learn? Certainly too good to be true, or too good to miss out on. Anyway, that was.
Was that the one? Was that the green? Does that story tie in with the green Rolls Royce, or is the green Rolls Royce a different story? I remember there was something about a green Rolls Royce.
Green limo, emerald green limo. Yeah.
Yeah, I was always a pretty aggressive marketing kind of guy, and so when I was building up my company so that I eventually could sell it and then lose all the money in this deal, I was actually doing some other stuff that was fairly successful. So I decided, instead of me going to visit clients all over South Florida, I figured, you know what? I would just have them coming in one at a time. So I went out and I bought this. It was on sale for like $52,000. I should have thought about it before, but it was a limo. It was a green Lincoln limo, lime green. So my marketing mind was,
you gotta hear the story, guys. It's hilarious.
So my marketing guy, my mind said, you know what, Larry, you go have your limo driver, and hired a full-time limo driver. So he would go pick up the first client at 8:30, bring him back to my office at 9. I'd meet with the guy from 9 to 10. While he's out getting the next guy, he comes back, drops the next guy at 10, brings the guy back at 9. I think it was the third guy calls me up and he goes, I'm not getting in this fucking car. I am not. He said, I am not getting in a lime green limo. The other two guys after the meeting said, Larry, I appreciate the ride, but I'm not going to be going back and forth in this car ever again. It's too embarrassing. People were shooting birds at me, spitting on the car. I said, really? What a horrible thing for people to do. one of the guys, wealthy guy says, Larry, you do understand that we like to travel in like black limos, lime green? What were you thinking? And here's what I was thinking was people when anybody saw the lime green, they'd be going, there goes another happy Larry customer. So whatever you do, never buy a green lime limo. It won't work. That's it. So anyway, those are my wonderful truth.
So, yeah, see, you got to sneak in a third one
Very
there.
good. Larry.
Oh, great stories.
Unfortunately, not fortunately, unfortunately, they're true. So
I had a one initial bad investment as well with a car. When I was in South Africa, when you're 18, you're allowed to drive, right? When you're 16, you get a learner's license. And I was at school, and I wanted to go out with my friends all the time. So every weekend I had this plan and that plan, and my parents said, "Listen, we can't like you can go for one thing on the weekend. Like we can't be like your taxi like from Friday to Sunday wherever you want to go. So you gotta like pick one thing." So then I was like, "Okay, cool. What if I can I borrow the car?" They're like, "Well, you can't drive because you've got a learner's license." So I was like, "What if I get someone else to sit with me that's a licensed driver? Then I'm allowed to drive." Like, "Yeah, but we don't trust you with a car." So then I said, "Okay, well, what if I get my own car?" Then they said, "Okay, if you can get your own car, then we'll let you go, and you must get your own licensed driver." So I worked on this plan, and I managed to. It's like I used to sell things when I was in school. I used to sell all kinds of things, and uh, I, I managed to make enough money in a few months, and I bought this old Audi 500e, and I thought it was really a good deal, right? So I thought, yes, I've done well here, right? And I think we took it out like one time, right? And the gearbox packed up, right? And it was going to cost me like half the price of the car to fix this gearbox, and I literally like I had to work hard and put everything I had into this car to get it right. And and now I couldn't even afford the tow truck to um to get the car to the mechanic, so I had to like reverse the car all the way from my house because the only reverse worked. The all front gear stopped working, so I had to reverse the car all the way from my house to the mechanic to leave the car there to work on it as I had the cash to fix it, and then I had to like try to sell it again. But yeah, so cars and buildings, not really. Well, cars I got back on track. I think you just need to spend enough money on it.
Yeah. Well,
So
Glenn,
I've got a story.
Go
I've
ahead.
got a story with little bit of a different background in the casino world, which I hate. I just hate casinos, but I think it's because of my early experiences. So when I was a student, we were on a cricket tour, and obviously being a student, got no money, got like 200 rand for the night to go buy drinks. But on the way we thought we'd pop by the casino first and just like, I don't know, spin, go on the slot machines or something. But the slot machines are boring. So on the way there, I said to a couple of guys, I think there were five of us, guys, if we go to the roulette table, we bet red or black. We go all in red or black each time. And if we have 200 rand between us, or each, then we'll get 5 spins. So if we go black every time, chances are out of the 5 spins, we're gonna get one right, and we're gonna double our money, and we'll double our money. Then we'll have some extra rand, money for drinks, and go to the club afterwards. It'll be a great night. So we're like, this sounds great. Like 1 in 5 chances of this thing going against us. No problem. So we go there, get our money together. First spin, all in on black, hits the red. It's like, okay, no problem. Four left. So I think I was the first guy to put my money down, and the next guy comes, and here's my 200 bucks. So we spin again, hits red again. So 2 out of 2 lost. No problem. Third one, again, hit the red. So now we're like, this is 3 out of the 5. So we get 2. So now we started to sweat a little bit. So the fourth guy puts his money in, hit red again. So like, what are the chances? We got 4 out of 4 wrong here. So now we've got the last guy in the end of the line. I can't remember who it was. Let's just give him Dave. So it's Dave. Your turn to cough up the money. He's like, forget about it. I'm keeping my money. So Dave, you bastard, we're in this together. So Dave at least bought the drinks for that night, but that didn't go too well for us. So that's the martingale strategy. And yeah, we learned the hard way that doesn't work out very well.
No, but you
So,
know,
some great lessons here. So listen, we don't gamble
Yeah.
with money, and we don't put
So
all our
all of
eggs in
these
one
lessons
basket.
make us,
And we
so
must.
all of these lessons make,
Sorry, Glenn, go ahead.
sorry, Pete. So I was going to say all of these lessons make us wonderful fund managers.
yeah, you get a. I'm wondering, will this be the end? It may be the beginning of a podcast series, but it may be the end of our investing. When people hear you got these four bozos, are you kidding me? But hey, listen, if we all take, really, that's what life's all about. You take all these crazy experiences that you were willing to take back then, and then where they bring you today, those little bitty things you think about, and then when you also say, "Hey, I'm handling other people's money now," wow, that I want to say the fear and the concern and the care becomes the most important, the most important element. No question at that. And by the way, guys, just so you know, I mean, anybody comes to me, especially my friend, if he's got another deal, don't worry, I'm not in.
Yeah.
So all is good. Hey guys, listen, it was great getting together again today, and
Thank you.
look forward to speaking with you guys again as we do all week long. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, Larry. Happy
Thanks, Larry.
Friday, gentlemen.
So we don't put all our eggs in one
Cheers.
basket, and we don't gamble.
Nope. No. Nor do we drive motorcycles. Don't worry. Catch you guys
All
later.
right, guys. Thank
Yeah,
you.
good.
Ciao.